Welcome everyone to your local waitress's favourite football podcast, the Onlyfanz Football Podcast. On today's episode we discuss various cocktails and exotic IPAs. We discuss the ongoing Celtic crisis, big money moves in the Premier League and League of Ireland clubs in Europe. We also have our wildcard edition of Get It Out. We hope you enjoy the podcast wherever you are listening, and be sure to follow our Instagram, Spotify and YouTube. Take it easy.
My spidey senses tell me this is gonna get fucking tasty, baby.
I will love it if we beat them. Love it.
There's a slice of cheese vinegar, GS Sopless.
I have a dream.
Arnie, cut!
Badler.
The fella in the green and white shirt.
The guys up in the joy have asked to be put back in their cells.
If you stop waffling, we might get some work done.
He has the goop, lad. He has the goop, lad.
Get out! Get out, Man United!
Origi! Torres to give Chelsea a place in the Shane Long has done it!
Let me add a little bit of spice to that.
Is that your fucking spice?
My grandmother had wheels, she would have been a bike.
I think I'm a special one.
I'm the normal one.
I never knew Stoke were that good.
Hello everyone and welcome to this week's episode of the Onlyfanz Football Podcast, for the fans, by the fans. And I'm introducing myself, Kieran McGrath, otherwise Adam will call me Cran
Cran and Adzi here. We're looking forward to this podcast, aren't we? We're a bit delicate today.
Well, and well, I don't know about you, but
I'm feeling 22. You set me up there. I had to. Go on, you don't know about me. What's up?
But this podcast is proudly sponsored by Elvis Juice Brewdog.
Brewdog's Elvis Juice, grapefruit flavour, infused IPA. United we stand for a better beer, fiercely defiant and independent. Woo!
Other brands available.
I don't know whether it's not. I'm not going to drink it. I'll be honest with you. I'm not drinking this.
Well, I'll drink it.
Go on, take a sup. Take an oral sup.
It's very nice. Very soft on the tongue.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
It's hard. It's definitely difficult to drink.
Yeah.
We'll power through it for the sake of the people.
So come here, anyways. How's your week, Cran? How'd you get on this week?
Well, it was very, very boring. But I tell you what, I've been watching the Olympics. I'm literally like a couch potato because I come home from work every day. It's the most depressing thing ever. Literally, routine. It's annoying. So I'd come home from work and sometimes I'd be on the early shift, sometimes I'd be on the late. But I'd literally sit myself in front of the telly for about 2 hours, just fast forwarding through all the bits.
Yeah.
Because I have it recorded.
Yeah, some of it's shit as well.
Yeah, some of it's shite. But I've seen some interesting stuff. Like one of the lads in the swimming, he donates his gold medals, so he doesn't give his gold medals, or he doesn't keep them. He doesn't keep.
Just gives them out.
He gives them away
to
whoever.
He just gives them to random people.
He just gives them to random people.
Why the fuck would you do that?
I don't know. I think they're saying he just likes the achievement of winning
bad,
and stuff, and he wants the records. But I was just thinking, it's a fucking Olympic gold medal. You're not just gonna give it to the fucking.
This is what you strive for.
Some random bloke gets in the post. He's like, "Wow, thank you."
Something to tell the grandkids, isn't it? Do you remember that time we went to the Olympics and we won a gold medal? It's like, no, I was actually given that for free. Would you believe?
I just got it in my letterbox one day.
One day I came home and it was just there, an Olympic gold medal, 24 carat. It was just like, why have I got this?
Anyway, I was actually watching the athletics today, and someone fell over the hurdle.
Oh, okay.
And I just got PTSD flashbacks from my time doing the hurdles. Believe it or not, I did the hurdles, alright? And it's the funniest thing ever. Essentially, in school, they just force you into stuff. So I was like 10, alright? And I was just chilling in the classroom.
And you done hurdles?
Well, let me get
go on, sorry. Go on.
I was just chilling in the classroom one day.
Okay.
Alright, just minding my own business. And then someone was like, someone's pulled out of the athletics today in Santry. You're coming with us. And I didn't have a choice in the matter. I was held at ransom. It was like the KPNG or whatever.
Okay. Knocking on the door.
I felt like that.
Did you ever
Like,
see that in the office? Like knock knock, who's there? KPMG. I was like, we don't fucking knock. Oh, the office is gone.
it was essentially like that.
Okay.
So I just went off in the bus or whatever, the Santry. I didn't know what I was getting into. They didn't even tell me I was doing the hurdles.
And you just went.
So I go on the start line. There's these big big lads, chunky thighs, the size of fucking tree trunks beside me, and I'm here 10 years old.
Your leg, I was gonna say your legs are fairly chunky, but
Oh no, this was when I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
So I was like 5'11" or something.
Jesus Christ.
Stepped up, I realised I was doing the hurdles. No one even told me I was doing the hurdles. I stepped up to the start line, alright? Get over the first hurdle. Clatter it. Clatter the next one.
Hold on, so you jumped over them, but they fell.
They just kept falling.
Okay.
I wasn't properly
You may as well just ran through them, really.
And I kept tripping over them.
Yeah.
Eventually I came to the 7 or 8 one.
Yeah.
I just went around them. I just ran around them and ran to the end. And I was about fucking 40 seconds away from anyone close.
So you're literally the opposite of an Olympian, really.
Yeah. So that's my experience with athletics. Respect to anyone that does it.
But yeah, funny you should say that, right? On the Get It Out box I put up last week, right?
Yeah.
So obviously looking for suggestions. One of the boys in, if you're listening to this, he put in Adzie's 5-minute cameo for Closter. So years ago. So obviously we both went to an Irish school, and in fourth year there was a football team.
Yeah.
Or was it fourth year? It could have been third year. Could have been second year actually. It was when I don't want to say the maths teacher's name, but he was a bit of a yuppie. Nice now, but he was a bit of a yuppie. So he put the team together, and anyways, and this was our first game, and it was in the bogies of Cabra, and not to say that we were shy, but we weren't necessarily great.
Yeah.
So he drafted in players, older players from the years above us. There was a lad from Dave and Roy's year. Aaron was playing. A few of the other lads, I think I gave my shin guards to one of the lads. Anyways, we were winning the game 4-1, and the right back gets injured, right? And the right back gets injured, and he looks to the bench, and it's me and my good friend Shay, and me and Shay, and the gaffer goes, right lads, who wants to go right back? And for anyone listening, I am to football what a Diet Coke is to a large meal out of Domino's. Useless. So I defend him anyways. So obviously I go, Shay, you go right back. So Shay went right back, and there must have been about half an hour left. And in that space of time, the game went from 4-1 to us to something like 5-4 to them. So this cameo that I did was, I played about 3 minutes at the end, and I was just like a little stump up front. I was like Philly Hughes for Shells. And Philly Hughes could move, he uses arse well. He was one of them backs into and all, a bit like John Walters, but except I'm just massively overweight for the age. I can Fenway. I thought I would say. And we lost the game anyways, but that's the cameo anyways. I played about 3 minutes. I think I touched the ball twice. I might have lobbed the ball into a box, one of them last chance saloon kind of hoop it in, hope someone gets the head on it. But yeah, that was the story. So shout out to Eno for the show for the.
I might have lobbed the keeper in the last minute to make it 6-4.
Yeah, in my dreams. But we lost the game and it was 5-4 in the end.
You lost?
We lost, yeah.
No.
That's why it's funny. So Shay came on, we just lost But God bless him, he's a great mate, he's a funny bastard. So he'll come on as well at some stage.
Yeah.
He will. Yeah.
And otherwise, how was your week? And you get up to much, or?
It was good, yeah. I think the weather was kind of was a bit cold, wasn't it? So go sleep a bit.
Yeah, it's the polar opposite last week.
Yeah, it's mental. But yeah, nothing really. I was out last night. Actually, you'll love this. I was out last night, and for anyone who's keeping an eye on the socials, I have a sticker maker at home, so I printed a few Onlyfanz stickers, hung it up in the jacks beside the urinals. If anyone's in Mimas of Parnell Street, pop in, you'll see the Onlyfanz. Actually fucking go to Mimas. It's the best spot in Dublin. Yeah. This is now an unofficial Mimas stan account. No, it's a great spot. Really, really enjoyed it. I had a few sex on the beach. I had a drink as well.
Oh yeah, I was just going to say, you got the cocktail.
And Yeah, so it was a lovely night. So what happened was, so we came out Mima's, and one of the waitresses was there, and she looked at. So I put another sticker on the like Lewis tap on gimmick thing, and she's like, "What's that?" And I goes, "That's me and my good friend's podcast. Follow her right now." And she's like, "Yeah, I will." I was like, "Yeah, follow it." And true to her word, she's probably never gonna listen. I'm not gonna name names either because she actually did follow. But she's probably never going to listen. But big up to her for following the podcast.
She just seen you plastering about 20,000
exactly.
stickers.
She's indoctrinated now. She has to listen. But yeah, so she followed. And do you know what? I'm going to go straight to the Hall of Fame. So my Hall of Fame pick this week is Cran. Right? I told you I had sex on the beach last night.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm going for. What a drink. It's fruity. I think it's like mango. Do you know what? I might look up what's in it, but it's an absolute delight. The best drink, honest to God, right? They do a drink in Mima's called the Mad Hatter, and it's like rum and pineapple juice. You know what? I might put that in instead of Sex on the Beach, but it is beautiful.
So which one are you going for? Sex on the Beach?
Sex on the Beach. I'll go with Sex on the Beach.
Okay.
What's yours?
Since I was talking about the Olympics,
okay,
I have one thing, and I want to say it now. Oh, Canada! I'm absolutely delighted the US women's national team were beaten yesterday by Canada. It's nice to see someone else get a chance.
Absolutely.
Semi-finals. I'm going to pick the Canada women in my Hall of Fame.
Do you think they'll go all the way?
I think Sweden are good as well, aren't they? So
yeah, I think the Dutch are quite good, aren't they? But I think the Americans knocked them out, did they?
Yeah, I think Sweden are in the final.
Canada versus Sex on the Beach. That's an odd one this week. By the way, the first inductee into the Onlyfanz Football Podcast Hall of Fame
is Connor Sam the Bouncer.
Boom.
The story from last week of the bouncer that was a prick.
And if you didn't hear that, you can listen back on YouTube and Spotify.
Yeah. So there we go. Hall of Fame done. Sex
on the Beach versus the Canadian women's national team.
That's it. So
I don't know what you're going to use on it, but that's sensational. That was
this week
a lot of ASMR. That's literally all that was there.
That was just something caught me throat. But this week we're going to be talking about, of course, Celtic. We're going to be talking about
I didn't know what that was leading to there, I'm not going to lie. And of course Celtic, St. Patrick's. Yeah, we're going to talk about
Celtic.
We got a lot of shots about Celtic. Shouts even about Celtic.
Now, I don't know about you, but I was sat in my mate's gaff watching this game, the Hearts against Celtic game.
2-1 it finished, was it?
2-1. Alright, I ordered a back page pizza and I delivered it to the wrong address.
No way.
So I was dealing with a delivery driver for about 20 minutes. The fella's like, "No, you cannot order. You must go through Just Eat."
You cannot say that. You
must go through Just Eat to change the address. You cannot ring me and tell me to go to a different address. God. He calls back about 5 minutes later and he's like, "Sorry, what's that address now?" So I told him the address and he came. But he loved his job too much.
That's gas, that is one. The accent is brilliant.
No, honestly, that was his accent.
Come here. I can't. I wasn't there, so I can't deny it. And if I was, I wouldn't deny either. That was sensational. I'm gonna say Italian accent. Yeah.
But yeah, I had a dealing with a delivery driver. But I was watching that game anyway.
Probably the best part of the night, I'd say. Celtic.
2-1 to Hearts. Last minute goal by I actually don't know. I don't watch much SPL, but
I didn't. I knew they lost 2-1 and I knew it was in the last minute, but I didn't see the goal score.
But what the fuck is happening with Celtic? You know,
they're in a bad way, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's frightening. It's genuinely
Dermot Desmond, isn't it? That's the fella who owns them.
Yeah, and he's actually, funny enough, we're going to talk about Irish clubs in Europe in a bit as well. That's what we have on the agenda. But Celtic seem to be signing Liam Scales of Rovers, and I think Desmond has a link with Rovers as well. So it's a bit shady now, but I don't know what's going to happen. I think there's a lot. Celtic now, they need a rebuild, really.
Yeah,
and like you compare them to Rangers, right? Rangers beating Real Madrid the other week. That's great. Like that is a great result for them.
Yeah.
Obviously, like we don't really want to see that, but I mean, they seem to be getting stronger. They seem to be evolving. And it looks like Celtic are going the other way completely. Now, not in the same sense as Rangers. Like, Rangers lost a club and they started up again. You know what I mean? It's a completely different story altogether. But I think what Celtic's problem is now, they don't want to fall too far behind while still being in the same league. I think that would be a massive problem. Because all this talk about 10 in a row, etc. And come here, no one would have loved them more. Well, I say no one, Tom would have loved them more, shout out. But they just look in a bad way. And I don't know how they're going to change it, to be honest. I think it's a big rebuilding process.
Yeah, of course. I think their manager as well, there's a lot of questions to be asked on that appointment.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, Celtic, Eddie Howe would be perfect. Or someone who's up and coming and wants the job, you know, and wants to do well. And this fella, I don't know, I've never really heard of him. I don't know.
Ange Postecoglou. It's a great name, though.
It's a class name.
Do you know what? It's very, what's the word? It's delightful sounding.
Metropolitan would be the word.
Would it?
I don't know. Would it? But
it's very easy on the ears. Ange Postecoglou.
Yeah. Say that in the mic just for a bit of ASMR.
Ange Postecoglou. But yeah, the appointment is a weird one, isn't it? Because for me, it reeks of scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
And look, I say this, I'd gladly be proven wrong. I would love to be sitting here the end of the season. If we're still doing it, we will. Saying Celtic have done great. Ange Postecoglou turned everything around. You know, Rangers went the other way. But I don't know what's going to happen. For me, in anyways, regarding Rangers, the only way, one of the ways that Celtic could kind of turn this all around would be if Gerrard left.
Yeah.
And that's a possibility as well.
If Gerrard left Rangers, you mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, I think as well with that manager, if you're thinking of a rebuild job at Celtic, I think you'd want it to be something else. You want it to be someone else in charge.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's the right person for a rebuild.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's...
I think Eddie Howe would have suited them down to the ground.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, absolutely. It would have been a great, for lack of a better term, would have been a great signing for them. You know, it would have been a great kind of to rebuild the club. And there's players there, there's chances. You know, like McGregor and Christie, there are chances. Forrest goes missing. You know what I mean? And he has to be potentially one of the most decorated, useless players ever. The amount of trophies he has with Celtic, and look, he's provided the club at great times. You know what I mean? Some people know him much better than I would, but I don't know. I just think I think it's going to be a tough rebuild.
And didn't Celtic this pre-season as well, they lost 6-2 to Brentford, was it? Or
West Ham.
West Ham, yeah.
West Ham.
That's not good.
No.
That's not good. Celtic historically would be a bigger club than West Ham. So.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
so you just need to sort your shit out, Celtic.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's gonna be. Like, I don't know. I don't want to sit here and say. And I said this to Dave the other day. Like, for one game in, you don't want to go. Well, that's the league over.
Yeah.
You don't want to say that now. No one wants to say that now. So I'd love for Celtic to really turn around, but I think it's gonna be difficult to rebuild. Yeah. On the agenda, we have transfers as well.
Transfers, yeah.
What are you thinking? City linked with Grealish and Kane.
Well, I tell you what, this is going to be completely off the cuff again. I was in the Jacks there.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I was in the Jacks in Clontarf. Alright, golf club.
Okay.
Shout out to Clontarf Golf Club. But I was, you know, doing my business anyway.
Slash.
Yeah. Or the
okay.
So I was sat there
dropping a deuce,
just minding my own business, alright. Some lad comes into Jacks and starts talking about Jack Grealish, and he's like,
while you were sitting in the cubicle having a dump?
Well, to someone else. So he was talking to someone else. You know,
be a bit weird. Are you in there? Hey, we're signing Jack Grealish. Are you having a dump? Okay, sorry.
Yes.
Yes to what? Grealish or having a dump? Be more specific.
But yeah. You know when you're in the Jacks and you're just having a chat with someone at the urinal and you're like, here, sit here trying to Jack Grealish for 100 million. So I just heard that and I was like, £100 million for Jack Grealish.
Disgraceful, isn't it?
I think the world's gone mad, let alone football.
You get 2 Ben Whites for that. No, it is.
Let's all laugh at Arsenal now.
It is. Look at Grealish's stock has never been as big as it is now. And I think with Aston Villa getting, what's his name, Leon Bailey, Buendia, it's as if they're preparing for him to go.
Yeah.
You know, it's a tough one. I don't. If City sign if City sign Harry Kane and Grealish, you may as well cancel the league. It's over.
You think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think
now I'd usually agree with you, but I think Champions League is evidence that City are breakable as a team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not just as easy as a walkover. The most competitive league in the world. So,
but I do think there's an element of, like we talked earlier in chat about Chelsea and what they have to do, and like I mean, a lot of people right now are ruling out Liverpool to do anything, but Van Dijk, Gomez, Konate.
I'm not.
You know, but I think I'll be much more confident about Liverpool if we were to get 2 more signings.
Yeah.
A midfielder to replace Wijnaldum, and a striker or an attacking forward.
My argument with Liverpool would be those forwards are aging now. You know, you need someone a bit younger, a bit fresher legs, even if they're not starting.
True.
Bring someone in.
Yeah.
A bit of fresh legs. You know what I mean?
Well, I think competition's always good as well.
Yeah.
Like last year we brought in Jota and he was a revelation. Minamino's still there, but like I mean, the funny thing about Minamino, right?
He scored against Chelsea.
The funny thing about Takumi is when he played against Liverpool in the Champions League for Salzburg, so he had Chang. Do you know Chang? I think he plays for Leipzig now. He had Haaland.
Yeah.
He had a good little team there, and we signed him from Salzburg for 9 million, right? And everyone was like, "That's a steal. That's oh my god!" But he's literally performed like a player who's been signed for 9 million from Salzburg. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think he has a lot of improving to do. He's looked sharp in pre-season. Whether he's the one to put pressure on, I don't know. Talking about Harvey Elliott as well, he's a good young player. But again, I just think City will be too strong if they get Kane and Grealish. And I said we talk about transfers because Kane didn't report for training either today.
Yeah, I think personally now, I've pulled a few sickies in the past, so I don't know. Like, Fabrizio is probably thinking, to transfer to Man City, but I don't think
he's Italian. I'm not gonna lie. I think he's Spanish. Is he? No, he could be Italian.
He is Italian.
Fabrizio.
He loves Giorgio.
He likes a back page pizza.
He does, yeah.
The Sonny O'Sullivan, feta cheese, spinach. Sorry.
Or isn't there a Materazzi one as well?
There is a Walter. Yeah.
So Fabrizio. I don't know. Is he reading too much into that?
He'd be loving this, won't he? I think Harry Kane. I think it'd be a game. I think Harry Kane leaving's a game changer. Whatever about Spurs being Spurs.
The thing about it is, I don't think it's right that a player of Harry Kane's calibre, even how good he is, I don't think it's right he's gone for 150 million.
No,
I think
but
in a realistic world,
that goes back a long time. Like football, it's not football anymore. It's a business. So these decisions are completely business related. They've nothing to do with the welfare of, like, he's not. No one's worth 150 million.
No.
You know, Ben White, God bless him, he's a great young player, but his price is fabricated unbelievably. You know what I mean? Extortion, etc. These players aren't worth this. No one is worth that money. You know what I mean? And in a football,
not even Gary Breen.
No, that's a bit different now. Especially if you have 11 Gary Brains in the team. We all dream of a team of Gary Brain. Number 1 was Gary Brain. Number 2. No, like I mean, just no one's worth that money. But City obviously spend it, and they haven't got a care in the world regarding other teams and etc. And look, we see United sign Sancho and Varane. So they could have the potential to be there this season, but I still think they need a bit more as well. But look, it's all about money.
Anyway, we'll move on. We're going to talk a bit about bows in Europe, I think.
Yeah, a bit of everything.
A bit of bows in Europe.
We can't just talk.
Bows in Europe. Georgie Kelly, I got his name wrong last week. What a man.
You did. What did you call him last week?
I call him Georgie Crown.
Georgie Crown.
But the bald bomber has struck again against Dudelange.
It's great name,
it's beautiful.
Is it I don't even want to pronounce it.
Dudelange 91.
I think we've done enough of offending people in this. I don't want to offend anyone else.
We haven't offended anyone. just
for Fabrizio. And the people who make fucking Brewdog.
But no, Dudelange got absolutely stuffed by Georgie Kelly.
Yeah. And
it was a beautiful moment. I actually bought the stream, believe it or not.
Yeah, you did right. I'm glad you did.
So I like when I had the time, I'd sit down and watch bows, and that was one of the days I had the time, and it was a fucking great game to watch. Great football being played, great players. Ross Tierney, lovely little player, and then you had.
I think Dawson Devoy.
Dawson DeVoy as well, yeah. Lions at the back.
Yeah.
Great players. And they just all performed brilliantly, so I'm very happy about that.
Yeah.
It's good to see the local team doing well.
Well, they have PAOK in the next round.
PAOK
of Greece. Now, I don't know about you. Personally speaking, I think they've nothing to be worried. I'm not going to say they've nothing to be worried about. They've nothing to be fearful of. They've gotten this far for a reason. They've gotten this far because they've been good enough. And like you look at the next round, potentially if they were to beat PAOK. Now this is if they beat PAOK. They have Hibs or HNK Rijeka of Croatia. Now I'm not going to lie to you. I would fancy Bows against Hibs.
Yeah,
and I've never heard of the other team.
I'd be more worried about the PAOK game.
Yeah,
PAOK.
You don't want to look too far.
I've been looking at the PAOK's history, fixtures, and all that results. Yeah. They beat Olympiacos in the cup final. So
just this season?
Yeah, last season.
Well, at the end of 2021.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're no mugs.
No.
So I would, if I was to get.
When was that game? Just out of interest.
That was
it
in
end
May.
of
May, yeah.
Okay.
So if I was to guess, they might be still in the pre-season, but if I was to guess, I think PAOK would beat Bows. Personally, I would two legs.
Well, I mean, I would tend to agree with you.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm saying is they've none to be fair. Like, I mean,
don't
go into the game going, we're gonna lose. Oh, it's PAOK. You know what I mean? I mean, they're not gonna. PAOK won't go into the game being fearful of Bows, and Bows shouldn't be fearful of them. Like, I mean, there's a lot of positive for Bows in the sense of, especially in European wise, they're in form. This is the middle of Bows' season. This PAOK game is PAOK's first competitive fixture of the season.
Yeah.
They haven't, you know what I mean? Bows will be getting in and they'll be getting in, smashing, they'll be going in for it. I definitely think at home they could win. Whatever happens in Greece.
And it's tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah, Tuesday.
The day this is released.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's madness.
So, for me, anyways, I just think they just have to go out, give it their best, and what happens, happens. So Rovers are playing, and look, we don't really want Rovers to win either. But like, they're playing KF Teuta of Albania. I'd fancy, look, I've never heard of Teuta. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, of Albania. But I'd fancy them to go through, and if they beat them, they play the loser of Omonia Nicosia of Cyprus, the younger cousin of Apwell Nicosia, by the sounds of it, or Flora Tallinn, and I think they've played Tallinn before. For Rovers anyways, because they're in good form as well, they have good players, you know, Dano Mandrew and the likes.
Snake.
I'm a snake.
I'm a snake.
Yeah, you would Graham Burke, you know, Richie Tell. You would give them a good chance against either of those teams. You give them a good chance against all of them, but see what happens. And then you have Dundalk against Vitesse Arnhem, where Chelsea Lowney's go to die. Shout out to Marco van Hinkel.
Shout out to Mason Mount, who spent a season on loan at Vitesse.
No
so
way.
Maybe they don't all die, Adam.
Yeah, I mean, look at. I know if Sen's listening to this, he'd be like, Mason, mate. But it doesn't mean he's a great player. No, he is.
I love that we're shouting out Sen in every episode now.
He has to. He deserves it. Versus, so if Dundalk beat Vitesse, they play KF Laki of Albania or Anderlecht. Anderlecht be Vitesse is a tough game anyways, but I think if they were to get through Vitesse and they play Anderlecht.
Anderlecht are a huge team.
I think Vincent Kompany's the manager, isn't he?
Yeah.
And then obviously they've had.
They beat a big team in Brussels now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
they had Yuri Tielemans was one of their players at one stage. You know, they have had good players. Do you want to do a few predictions
for these games?
Bows PAOK, come on.
Bows PAOK, I think they'll win the home leg, but I think they'll lose a few nil in the away leg.
So you think they'll win?
It'll be 3-1 overall.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I would fancy Bows and Louisa. Yeah. I really would. I was talking to one of the lads last night, and obviously he's a Bows supporter, and he's kind of worried about. He thinks they'll do them at home, but away it could be difficult, and I think that's a real possibility. I think it could be a great game tomorrow night, and I think it'll be very competitive. I think the two they've had in the Aviva so far, I think they've smashed whoever doing the ledge, and I don't know who the other team was, but PAOK could be a tough game. It could be a good watch. I would probably fancy PAOK over two legs. But I definitely think Bows have nothing to be fearful of.
Yeah.
What do you think about Rovers against KF Teuta of Albania?
I don't really have an opinion on this one, but if I was to guess, I think Rovers have it.
I'm not going to give a score, but I would fancy Rovers go through. And Dundalk against Vitesse Arnhem.
I think
Vitesse will batter them, man.
Yeah, Vitesse are very good.
Yeah, the Dutch teams are great.
Vitesse got to a cup final in the Dutch league last year.
Oh, did they?
So they played Ajax. I think they lost, but they got to the Dutch final. So we'll move on
to the acclaimed.
Get it out!
Get out, Manchester!
Philly's not going to be happy with that.
You're Philly. This week on Get It Out, and shout out to Dave for this one. I know it might be a bit of bias, but we have to pick someone's shout. But Dave said this week for Get It Out, our top 5 wildcards for the season ahead.
So a surprise, essentially. A surprise package.
Yeah.
So it could be a fucking team winning the league that you wouldn't expect. A team getting promoted that you wouldn't expect. You know, and this is going to be across Europe. So we're just going to do Europe as a whole. And we'll see what happens. So, top 5, let's go.
I'll let you lead.
Mine's going to be the most ridiculous start.
Okay. I know what the first one is. Go on, sorry.
Burnley to win the Premier League.
Ridiculous, Bill.
Is it ridiculous, though? Because I think Wood and Barnes together, they've been improving season by season. I just expect 30 goals from both of them. And I expect Sean Dyche just to be screaming out loud. You know, almost in jubilation, just watching Chris Wood and Harvey Barnes, or I call him Harvey Barnes, Ashley Barnes, score goals.
Tell you if they got Harvey Barnes, there might be a chance.
I tell you now, don't rule out Burnley. They have that odd season. They're going to win the Premier League this season. There we go. That's my wild card. Number 5, because it's not going to happen.
And I've got to be honest with you, I don't think Burnley are winning the Premier League. But, I mean, stranger things have happened. That's what I'll say, because that time Leicester were one of the favourites to get relegated, and they won the league. So I'm not going to completely rule it out.
They'll either finish 1st or 20th this season. Mark my words.
Do you know what? That's a great prediction. That one is good. I like that diversity of it. And do you know what? One more put the polls up, I'm going to do that. Burnley try to win the league or get relegated. Because I think a team like Burnley's time is up.
Yeah.
I think they've had their tenure in the Premier League's been too long. I like Sean Dyche as a manager. Dyche, whatever.
He should have went to Celtic.
Celtic could have done. The fella eats nails for breakfast, and he's hard as anything. But yeah, it's not a bad show. I like that diversity in the end there. Could easily happen.
So number 5 for you then.
I have QPR to get promoted. I think it's time we had QPR back in the Premier League. After seeing QPR beat United 4-1 or 4-2 even, I was kind of thinking to myself, could this happen? Could they come back up? And I think they have Charlie Austin up front. They have good young players back like Conor Masterson, a good Irish young player, former Liverpool captain. The Championship's the most competitive league in the world, and I think sometimes the obscene happens. The what shouldn't happen, and that's what could happen this season. I think QPR might go up. Like, we had Leeds going up the year before, we had Brentford coming up last year, and these teams were fighting for ages to get into it. And I just have a feeling QPR will go up this year.
Okay.
And the win against United kind of swayed it for me.
Number 4, I've completely forgot. Oh yeah, Patson Daka. Patson Daka is my 4th choice for Get It Out. I remember the barber. I was in the barbers, alright? And I
just before you continue, right? In this episode alone, you've gone from I'm trying to go back to the start. You've gone from your friend's house with a back page pizza to the Jacks in Clontarf to the barbers, all in the space of an episode. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it.
Around the world, around the
Bit
world.
of Daft Punk there, go on. So go on, sorry, you're in the barbers.
Yeah, okay. And he was cutting my hair, and I usually I'm not really a personal barber. I don't really like having chats with them. So I go to the Grafton just to stay away from that whole get up.
I go to the Grafton as well.
Yeah. So I talked to like the barber there, and he'd usually start a conversation about football, and he does it every time. And like,
did you tell him about the podcast?
I will next time, because I haven't seen him. I need to get my hair cut. But essentially, he goes to me, Patson Daka. Watch out for Patson Daka. Leicester are getting him. A very good striker, good alternative to Haaland, Lukaku, and I think he's going to have a great debut season. I think it'll be Michu-esque.
Well,
that's my wild.
And the impression you got from your barber was that you might be like Michu. Or he's a good alternative to whatever.
He's a good alternative. So,
well, I know from people who listen who play FIFA, he got a team in a season card. So obviously he had a good season. Now, I mean, I hate this whole Twitter side of things where it's like, come here, he only has 40 pace on FIFA. I mean, it doesn't mean he's a bad player, but like I think it's a good kind of like a measure of how good a player is if they have a team of season card or whatever. So I do think Daka will. I agree with you. I 100%. I remember we were talking about him a while ago, and like you look at Liverpool needing another attacker, Chelsea needing an established attacker. I don't think Werner is that great. I know you have a different opinion, but I think Daka could have been a good signing for either of them. So I do agree with you.
Yeah. Number 4 for you.
So we talked about the Irish clubs in Europe, and my number 4 is, it's kind of a bit of a weird one. I don't know how to kind of phrase it, but essentially I think there'll be a lot of Irish players from the League of Ireland called up to the next squad in September. And Kenny, he's done it before. He tends to like to put in the Irish players in general.
Yeah.
Or like the League of Ireland players in. Obviously you have Irish players in there, for fuck's sake. The League of Ireland players in. I think if Jack Bourne's back fit, obviously he's away, and I think Cyprus now, I think he'll come back into the fold. Former Rovers player. I think Mandrew is probably in for a shout again. I think Georgie Kelly has to be. We haven't got a fucking striker like
Georgie Kelly, yeah.
You know what I mean? And it would pain me to see it, but like he has to get a shout. I think another one off Bowes again. Now this is from one of my mates saying it in Dawson Devoy. And every time I look on Twitter, there's like Mundial magazine or something sharing a fucking goal from Bowes, and usually Devoy is critical in the build up to it.
Yeah.
He's a good passer, he's a good eye for a pass. So I'd love to see them. I'd love to see them get a call up. I think there won't be anyone from Shells, but one of the lads off Shells, Big Mikey O'Connor, I have to give him a shout. It was his birthday during the week last weekend. I think he's a very good player.
Yeah.
And I think if he was playing at a higher level, and he's played at a higher level before, but I think if he was at a, how would you put it, if he was in the Premier Division, I'd love to see how he'd get on, because he's been firing all season. I hope we turn it around, hope Ireland turn it around, and Kenny does something, be good for the league and stuff. But
my number 3, Kante for the Ballon d'Or.
I think that's a good shout.
And yeah, everyone's saying Messi didn't win the Champions League, you know. That's my opinion. Kante, the best in the world in his position. He's been flawless all year, and he 100% deserves the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
And that's from my unbiased opinion.
You say that with how many Chelsea posters? About 12. And I'm like, that's a light down there. Yeah, come here. I don't think that's an unbelievable show. Like I think it could very well happen. For me now, I think Messi is a shoe in for it, but I can't take could get it. It's not out of the realms of possibility. I think Jorginho would be in for a show, especially with winning the Euros and the Champions League. But I think Kante's a better player than Jorginho, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm nodding my head here. I think Jorginho, even though he's very good for Italy, I don't think he does the same thing for Chelsea.
No,
he goes missing sometimes. But yeah, you're number 3 then. We'll move on.
I have PSG to win the Champions League.
I don't know. I think that ship has sailed.
Yeah?
Honestly, yeah. Like PSG, Donnarumma's great signing. They've got Wijnaldum, Ramos. They're clearly trying to change the mentality around their players, because their players are just pricks. Like usually they have a reputation for.
It feels like a lot of them are like bottlers.
Yeah.
And you've seen Mbappe in the Euros as well. The penalty he missed.
Ego. A lot of them have the egos.
I just think, and I say this, like we're recording this on the 2nd of August, is it?
Yeah.
They lost last night to Lille in like the French Community Shield. So it's very hard to say that they'll. I just think, like, if you again, I know we talked about formations there with Chelsea. If PSG stay out a certain way, with say Wijnaldum, Marquinhos, Verratti midfield, Neymar, Mbappe, Hakimi, like I just think they've all the tools there to win it.
They do.
And I think the teams in Europe in general, like Barcelona won't be great, Madrid won't be great. The biggest test they'll face is the likes of Liverpool, Chelsea and City.
I think you're dead right with them having the tools to do it, but I think they'll come up with against teams that have stronger mentalities than they do. I think they come against teams that have stronger systems than they will. They have managers that are more prepared to play against them.
But do you not think Ramos, the addition of Ramos, is massive?
Yeah, it's an experienced head, and Donnarumma as well. But there's a lot of question marks around their players still. Like the players up front, will they just stop playing when they're losing and stuff?
Yeah.
They need better mentality. They need better attitudes.
Yeah.
And the team, they need to get rid of the likes of Neymar and Mbappe.
I don't think
they're not a team.
I don't think Mbappe and Neymar would be prancing around if Sergio Ramos is there booting the legs off them, telling them to
You
play.
would hope, wouldn't you?
No, but I mean, like, look, you're bringing in, like, I'll put it this way, right? You're just based on these 4 players that we said. You're bringing in Donnarumma, who's just won the Euros. You're bringing in Ramos, who is probably the best defender of all time. There's definitely an argument to be made. You're bringing in Wijnaldum, who has won a Premier League, he's won a Champions League. You're bringing in Hakimi, who's just won the Serie A. Like, they're not messing about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. They're good signings and players with good mentalities.
I think that would be a game changer, though.
Yeah, it is. But it's whether they can do it. You know?
I'm not. I don't want to.
So I'd fancy someone else over them.
Yeah.
But I think, it is a good wild card shout, I'd say. Because there's a chance of it happening.
I just feel they do. Yeah. I don't know why. I just think they will. What's your number 2? I feel it in my finger. I feel it in. That's a bit of Bee Gees, I think, isn't it?
Could be.
It is.
Might not be.
This is the Bee Gees. Staying alive. Sorry, go on. I'll leave it. Number 2.
Number 2. The Monaghan. Do 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 do.
The Monaghan. Do 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 do. The Monaghan. Do 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 do.
I think that the Monaghan Football Club are going to return.
Be revived.
They're going to be revived. Maybe with the help of Sam McCaig, maybe not. But I just have a feeling in my bones that Monaghan are going to rise from the ashes.
I would love Monaghan to come back.
Yeah.
As a League of Ireland, like someone like, I don't like the term diehard, but as someone who goes like quite regularly, goes to away days, Monaghan is a great away day. It's a lovely spot. The last time they were alive, Roddy Collins was manager, and I would be fully behind them if they got Roddy back. The Rod squad.
When was the last time they were alive, actually?
I think about 2010, 2011.
God, that's a long time.
Could have been 2012. It was around that time. It's been a long time, and it's just the nature of the League of Ireland in general. There's not enough funding, etc. You get into it, but I'd love Monaghan to come back. And it'd be great.
Yeah, and they lost the GA, so they're no good at that. They lost the GA final. So bring back Monaghan Football Club.
Very good. I agree with you.
There you go. Number 2 for you.
I think Dele Alli is going to have a cracking season. Dele Alli of Spurs, as opposed to the Dele Alli who works in, I don't know, the chipper down the road.
Or just the
no way, man. You can't be saying that now.
I can't be saying that, but yeah, you can say the chipper down the road, Dele Alli.
Yeah, well, chipper's very conspicuously.
Fuck off.
No, I think Dele Alli's going to have a good season.
Yeah.
No, I just think I
have nothing to add to that because I don't really care if he has a good season or not.
No, I think he could be, like, the talent's obviously there. He's a cracking. He is when he applies himself, he's a great player. I know you don't like him because of Spurs and that, but speaking kind of unbiased, whatever. I remember when he came through MK Dons and Liverpool were after him, and I would have loved him to get him, but he's kind of just fallen off with Spurs. Had a mini revival under Mourinho, a few assists, few goals, and then he just went to fuck again. But
he grew an afro or something. Fuck's sake.
The afro took away all his powers to play football. No,
he just turned into a Frog Club character.
Yeah, I just think under Santos, I think under Santos he could have Nuno Espirito Santos. I think he could have a good season. I just think he could become a talismanic figure for them.
Yeah.
You know, anyways, what's your number 1?
My number 1 for Get Out this week is Georgie Kelly moved to the Premier League. We were talking about him earlier. He's banging him in. He might deserve an Ireland call up. I think the ball bomber should. I don't know if he moves to the Premier League now. That might be a bit of a stretch, but Championship. Championship League.
He could easily get a move over.
Yeah, he could, but I think it'll be Championship if I was to guess. But you know, he's well capable. He's banging them in that Europa Conference League. Good striker. I was talking to a Pats fan. I go to work with a Pats fan.
St. Patrick's and that. Sorry.
So I go to work with a Pats fan, and he talks to me about Georgie Kelly and how he moved from Pats to Bows, and he was scoring.
I think he was shy at Pats.
Yeah, he was scoring fuck all for Pats, and he was saying he's so pissed off that he's scoring for Bows now because he missed out on 20 goals season. Like, so
well, I actually think he's on like 23 goals now this season, something like that, which is amazing because, again, knowing the lads who support Bows, he mates whatever. He wasn't having a great season at the start. He was struggling at the start. And he's doing really well now. But I think he could get a move over.
He's very physical as well. He's good.
He's a unit, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's really lanky. But he's
good frame for it. But anyway.
The bald bomber, indeed.
The bald bomber. Moving on. Number 1 for you, Adzi.
But do you want to go through your top 5 first?
I will go through my top 5 first. So, my top 5 is number 5, Burnley to win the Premier League. Number 4, Pats and Dackett have a great season.
I think that's a great show.
Number 3, Kante to win the Ballon d'Or. Number 2, Monaghan revival. And number 1, Georgie Kelly's move to England.
Yeah.
Your number 1, Adam.
So my number 1, I'll just read through the top 5 first. So I had 5 QPR promoted, 4 in Ireland squad with a lot of LOI League of Ireland inclusion. Yeah. PSG for the Champions League, number 3. A good season for Dele Alli at number 2. And number 1, I think this is my creme de la creme, Atalanta to win the Serie A. What do you think?
I'd actually agree with that.
I'd
100%.
love if they done it, man.
I just think they
I
have
want to go as well.
a lot of quality, and the manager is very good as well.
Yeah.
So a few more additions maybe, and they have it in the bag.
You just look at the Serie A in general. So Juve have kind of fallen off. AC Milan have signed Tomori, so that's always a bad thing. No, I'm funny messing. But Kyle Tomori, he will be a good player. Inter Milan have lost a lot of players. They've lost a manager, and I just think if there was a season for a team to do well, it's Atalanta this season. So I just fancy them. I think Joaquin Mela in midfield or defence, they fell off Denmark. They have Muriel and Zapata up front. They just have a little team. Malinovsky, they just have a cracking team. Like,
so that's it.
That's it.
The top 5 wild cards of 2021-2022 season.
Jeez, man, it feels weird saying that, doesn't it? 2021, 2022.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a bit grim.
It's a bit grim. Will we finish with what some of the people said? I won't read them all.
Yeah. We'll finish with some of your choices for wild cards.
I won't read them all now, but I'll read a few of them. So we have shout from Gary saying Donny van de Beek to cement the place in the first 11.
I don't know.
No, why not?
Clutching there.
Oh god, no, come here, look at it.
Look at us laughing and it'll happen.
Yeah, it probably will happen as well. No, Van de Beek's a good player. Yeah. I think he's had a tough time at United, but he is a good player. We have Senan, who Same shouts this. What the fuck?
The man.
Abraham Golden Boot. I can say right now, Senan, that will definitely not happen.
My favourite 2 positions are CDM, CAM, and
striker. We have Eno with the shout of Villa will be fighting relegation. It's not a bad show. Is it though? I think Villa with
they won't fight relegation.
I don't think. I think they could. Well, if they lose Grealish, it's gonna be tough.
Unless Buendia brings his relegation juju.
True, yeah. He said Rodrigo will be one of the players of the year. I don't know about that. He didn't really get off to a fly last year, but it's always one of them, isn't it? To do kind of, it's always one of them that when he comes to a new club, it's tough. So Rodrigo could very well be good. I think his stock has fallen a bit, but he's a good player. Rory said Buendia to do bits for Villa, which I mean just complete contradicts what Ian said about Villa. Yeah. But I mean, to be fair to both of them, I can see both of them happening in a way, in the sense of like if Villa lose Grealish, they're gonna find it hard.
Yeah.
But Villa have bought Buendia, they still have Watkins. Bailey's a very good player as well. So they've kind of supplemented the loss of Grealish without it actually happening. Yeah. So suppose Grealish doesn't move, it is looking likely. But then they have Grealish. Oh, for fuck's sake. Grass at bleeding 20 days. I don't know whether people can even hear that. Could go either way for Villa, I suppose.
And Buendia,
yeah. And then we have Philly saying Liverpool to finish outside the top 4. Philly there with the most unbiased opinion ever. I suppose actually most biased opinion ever. It could happen. Premier League's a long season. I would fancy us to finish in the top 4 though with 3 great centre halves than having Barney Rubble and Fred Flintstone in centre half like we did last season to finish third. about
I
6
just
months
love how
overweight.
you and Phil have your own relationship and you don't even know him.
I know, it's a weird
know him.
relationship. But yeah, so that's all. That's a few of the shouts that have been into us by the time. So we have another one actually. Sorry. Wow. Okay. What do you think? Diaz to have a massive fall off season. From Connell of Barstoolers podcast.
He's going to United or something, is he? Or
Ruben Diaz.
That's the rumour.
Ruben Diaz, the centre half of City.
Oh fuck! I thought you meant Ruben Neves.
No.
Ruben Diaz to fall off. That is a big shout. That's a very bold shout, and it is a wildcard shout.
Yeah.
So,
it could happen. I
don't think it will.
I think the Euro showed he's fragile. The Champions League showed he was fragile as well. So it could be. I don't think it'll happen. Personally, I don't think it'll happen. But
anything is
possible. Anything is possible. So that's
that. Who said that quote?
You tell me.
Muhammad Ali. No, that was something like I said it first.
Who said that?
I think it might have been Rocky Balboa.
I think you said float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. That was you, wasn't it?
I think it was.
And that's all. Fuck, what we named the podcast after this week?
I was thinking because what was it? Your man, the Celtic manager.
Oh yeah. Perfect. The Ange Postecoglou.
So this has been episode 3, the Ange Postecoglou.
Great name. Yeah, thanks for joining. Thanks for listening.
And if you are new, or if you're not new, either one, please follow our socials, the Instagram, the Tweeters. The Twitter's not up yet. The Spotify and YouTube, and we will have everything up very soon. We're still a new project, so everything is getting underway.
Yeah, thanks very much, Con. Shout out to Brewdog for the sponsor, the unofficial sponsor. And yeah, great episode. Thanks for having me.
Other brands available,
thankfully.
Good. Elvis juice.
Juice.
Thank you, everyone, very much. Bye.
Bye.